And oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Like, did you invite me onto this show because I'm a geezer? Is that why I'm here?
Oh God,
I
no.
just need to
I
know
don't.
that. I mean, but you know what? It's
I don't
fine.
only
It's fine.
uh, talk to geezers. I've had young people on here like you.
Oh, okay. Oh, very smart man.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Geezer Show. I'm Len Marino, Sr., your host. Today, as our guest, we welcome a multi talented, multi career woman, Roberta Fabiano. Musician, band singer, artist, author, actress, producer, cartoonist, and the list goes on and on. Without further delay, let's say hi to Roberta Fabiano. Hi.
Hi, Len. So nice to meet you and
Oh,
see
it's
you
nice.
on Zoom.
It's nice meeting you. Now tell me, the fact that you're also a cartoonist, is that how you met Adrian?
I met him actually because I went to a funeral. I attended a funeral, and there was someone there that belonged to the Burnt Toast Gang,
Yep.
and we just started talking about cartoons. That was it. The next thing you know, he invited me. His name was Jerry German. Did you ever know Jerry, Lynn?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, nice guy. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I'm very thankful to him.
No kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Great photographer, too.
I know, nice guy, really nice.
Why don't you sing Baubles, Bangles, and Beads?
I will. That's one of your favorite songs, right?
Yep.
Baubles, bangles, hear how they jingle, baubles, bangles, bright shiny beads, sparkles, spangles, my heart will sing, tingle, wearing baubles, bangles, and beads. I glitter and gleam, so make somebody dream. So when someday he may buy me a ring, ding-a-ling-a, I've heard that's where it leads. Wearing baubles, bangles, and beads.
That's great.
Why, thank you very much.
I'd like to know a little bit about your childhood on Long Island, how you developed these multi talents.
So I was brought up in Carl Place, Long Island.
Oh, I know it well.
I just fell in love with. I'll tell you how the music thing rolled, like rolled into like me getting into really into my life. We had a relative, I don't even know who it was. We were in their house and they had a piano, and I just went out of my mind and just like, wow. And at that time, Lawrence Welk was the only thing on television that was
Yeah,
musical, right? So they had that lady who was a piano player. She did like a stride piano, and I said, "Wow, that was great." So I sort of attached myself to that. We had remember when everyone had the Book of Knowledge? No, they had the Britannica Encyclopedia
yep,
in their house. We had a thing called the Book of Knowledge. Anyway, it had this brown binding and then the white pages in between on a bookshelf, and I used to make believe it was a piano because it looked like piano keys. So I must have driven my parents crazy. They finally got me a piano. So they got me this big old upright, and I would bash away on it endlessly. I hated taking lessons. I didn't want to know, but I learned how to read music. It was because I could figure things out by ear, right? So I must have really driven them crazy playing this piano because my father sent me to the movies one day, one afternoon. I came home and he was chopping it up in the backyard.
oh
He
my
was chopping
God.
up my piano.
Jeez.
I thought you'd find that funny. Yeah. Got me an organ after that. And then that developed, the Beatles came out. The Beatles really changed my life. And my best friend got a guitar for Christmas. I had to get a guitar. She became a surgeon, and I became a musician. Went to Berklee College of Music. Berklee's a great school up in Boston, and it's very open to guitar players. When I wanted to go to college, no one was accepting the guitar as an instrument, as a serious instrument, except for classical guitar and Juilliard or something. But it was very hard. I didn't want to take up classical. I wanted to study jazz, actually. So that's how I found Berklee.
I got to tell you something. The Beatles changed my life too.
Did they? Tell me about it?
I had the Capitol Records account for 9 years.
Yes. Oh
I,
my.
I used to go to recording sessions. And, you know, the Four Freshmen?
Yes.
I was out in
Yes.
California and went to their recording session too.
Wow.
Al Martino, remember him?
Yes, I do. He was in the, wasn't he in the original Godfather movie?
Yep. He was the Sinatra character. Yeah. But the nicest
Wow.
guy I ever met was Nat King Cole.
Oh man, that's great. That
He
is
was
great.
he was so low key, really.
Wow.
And
Wow. What a
when he talked,
fantastic talent.
you thought he was singing. That's how deep
Really? It was
and
very
resonant.
lilty kind of voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. I decided to stay with the guitar because there weren't too many women playing the guitar. And I never wanted to be, Len, I never wanted to be what you call a chick chirp. I didn't want to just
Mm-hmm.
be the girl singer. Um, I needed to do more to, make a name for myself and get around and have a special something I could offer. So that's how the guitar became my main instrument. And, George Harrison, he was a big influence to me as a guitarist. Um, I loved his melodic sense. His solos were very melodic. I mean, I'm a rock and roll baby at heart. That's what really moved me as a kid. When I was a little kid, I didn't want to like what my parents liked. I was very rebellious. But when I went to Berklee and I started working with Peter Duchin and all, learning about Cole Porter and learning about the Gershwins and all that, now it's in my blood. But it wasn't when I was a kid. I was just this rebellious kid. I want rock and roll.
Yeah, but you did play at several presidential inaugurations, right?
I did. I did. Now I'm going to date myself because the first one I played was Ronald Reagan's. That makes me a
Wow.
geezer, right? I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm
No,
part of
no.
the
You must
club.
have been about 14 years old.
Yeah, oh, you are too kind. Yeah, so he was the first inaugural I played, and then I played uh, George Bush Sr., both Clinton inaugurals and both George Bush Jr. inaugurals. I was watching Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan dancing all night. They never stopped. The thing that blew my mind, as we say, they just never stopped smiling. I said, how do they do that? They just
They're
had constant.
actors.
I
They're
know.
actors.
That's what it was. That's right.
How did you get into cartooning?
I always drew, for myself, and it really made me happy. The one thing that stunted my career as making a living in cartooning is when I was studying my music seriously, a mentor of mine said to me, "Well, you can't be an artist and a musician at the same time. You can't do that. You have to make a
Baloney.
decision." I know. So I never had the nerve to really get my stuff out there. I do other artwork as well. I do three-dimensional pieces with paper mache and real instruments. I put them on the canvas, and I have full-bodied sculptures. And I have those pieces in a place in Manhattan called the Cutting Room. It's a really cool nightclub. I started working with Peter Duchin. I've been working with him for, I hate to say it, 40 years. So, when you're traveling as a band, and we traveled all over the world, we had some really wonderful gigs, as we say, you become a family. Peter would make fun of me because I wasn't one of these people who would read a newspaper or read a book or really. I would just carry my Billboard magazines and look at the charts of what's going on. I wasn't a reader like he was. So one Christmas, he gave me a blank book, making fun of the fact that I don't enjoy reading. And he said, "This is the kind of book you would like." So I said, all right, I'll get him. I'm going to start drawing in these books. So that started in 1991. I had my first full blown year cartoons of all the parties that we played. But I would draw anybody and everyone I would see at these parties, not even knowing. The perfect thing was I wouldn't know who they were, but Peter would know who they were. So I draw this guy that looked like a tongue of a zodiac shoe. And I say, "Who is this?" And he goes, "Oh, that's the Duke of Edinburgh, whatever." Anyway, so I've got all these cartoons, and I've had people interested in doing something with them, but then they shy away. You know, they don't know what to do with them. You don't want to insult people. I know. I said, I understand that, but we could do it anonymous.
It's a talent. I've seen some of the examples. Really, you were great, and you are great.
Oh, thank you, Len. Thank you very much.
Now tell me, pick out a few people that you've met in any of your careers and expand on that. Why you cotton towards that particular person?
I mean, someone that's inspired me. You mean, or
Yep.
but that
Yep.
I've actually met in my life that's been
Yep.
an inspiration, like a mentor. I would say that Peter Duchin has been a mentor to me. So many things that I've learned from him. So he's one of my main mentors. In fact, I recorded one of the songs that Eddie Duchin. It was one of Eddie Duchin's, I think, most popular tunes called "Old Man Mose." You know that song?
I heard it. Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story of that song?
No, tell me.
They recorded it. I don't know what year it was. It could have been the 30s. The singer was Patricia Norman. Back then, you would record onto acetate. If anybody makes a mistake, go back to the beginning and start all over again. So I'll do a little version of it.
There was a little old man with funny crooked nose, lived down in a lobby, and he called him Old Man Bose. A dark and dreary morning, I knocked upon his door. Didn't make a single sound, and I ain't gonna do it no more. 'Cause I believe, old man, I believe, old man, I believe, old man. Old man Moses dead, yeah, I believe, old man, I believe, old man, I do believe, old man, that old man Moses dead. We believe, kick the bucket, we believe the bucket, we believe he kicked the bucket and old man Moses dead. We believe.
This part, she used the F word. Instead of saying bucket, she used the F word. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but she used it. She kept it in the recording because it was the 6th time they were recording that song. Anyway, I did a version of that, and it's a cool tune, isn't it? It's a different kind of song. We played a party for a dog once.
What?
A dog, yes. It's on the highlights of my career. That dog had the best life I've ever seen. Well, the playing for the Queen of England, that was a cool experience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was with the Lester Lannan Band. He had a different way of doing things. I'll give you an example. If you were doing New York, New York, right? So generally, New York is.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
That's generally how you would do it, right? Lester Lannan, it was 1, 2, 1. Start
Spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
And it was crazy. We do so many songs in that kind of a tempo. That was his thing. But I remember Princess Diana going nuts. She was flailing her arms and her legs, and I'm saying, That I love that woman. She's just doing what she wants to do. It was great. But we were told before the party, we played a couple of parties for them at Windsor Castle. We were told, do not look in the eyes of the Queen. Why? Because then she will have to speak to you. So I made sure I didn't look at her.
Tell us what's next for you when this pandemic is over.
Back in March, which is now going to be a year soon, right? March, I lost all my live gigs, every one of them. And some of the places where I was working, they still asked me to come in. And I said, something told me that to take this pandemic, we weren't calling it a pandemic yet, but something told me to take it seriously. And I turned it down. So, shortly after, they all started closing up. But I had about 30 gigs in March alone. I was really, looking forward to a prosperous year. So anyway, but I do some virtual. I'd love to do more virtual. I started working a lot for nursing homes, actually, and assisted livings and places like that because my parents were in those facilities, and it's something. It was calling me. What shall I say? It was calling me. So it became a real passion. I love doing that work. So what am I going to do? Outside of that, I'm going to concentrate on my art. I think I'm going to try to do more with my cartoons, Len. I think you're inspiring me. Thank you for that. And my other artwork, I've got tons of art to create. Also, songwriting is my thing. I think I'd like to stay here in my home and create because that's my life, is to create.
I want to thank you very much for being my guest today, and also sing us out.
Okay. Is there a special song you'd like to do, Len? Is there anything like a song you really love?
Yes, it's called The Shadow of Your Smile.
That's great.
That was
I
that
love-
is my song when I was.
Oh, how wonderful. Okay, let's do it. The shadow of your smile. The shadow of your smile when you are gone will color all my dreams and light the dawn. Look into my eyes, my love, and see all the lovely things you are to me. A wistful little star was far too far. A teardrop kissed your lips, and so did I. Now that I remember spring, all the joy that love can bring, I will be remembering the shadow of your smile. Now that I remember spring, all the joy that love brings, I will be remembering the shadow of your smile.
Yay.
How about that?
Mwah. Take good
Mwah.
care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.